Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. How holy this light circle. How holy is the celebration of the Son of God to come together in the miraculous way that the Spirit brings us all together, because the call of the heart is only for truth. And Jesus reminds me, oh, the happiness of joining. So happy. So much happiness in being joined with what can never be separate, and to see the love that's always brought by the brother, just by who he is, Jesus, representative in this world. And to see what's true, so much happiness. So as part of the gathering of the Supreme Happiness Club, so we can laugh at the miscreation rather than to experience it as real. The desire for experience. Let's just ask Jesus, in the light of divine being, is there any desire below my level of awareness to experience this holographic universe as real? For if that's desired, then too will come with that guilt. Yeah, it's really, and how he's really teaching us how to look, teaching for me, it's for me to see that it's so easy to look. Just look, it's, so he can show us it's nada, nothing, netty. I love that. When Muji, when somebody asks him about stuff, he goes, it's nothing. Yeah, we look with Jesus every day to see where we do want this holographic universe to be experienced, an experience to deny divine love, and see how easy it is to look. And below the experience, he keeps saying, below the experience. And it's so beautiful when I join with various beings and they talk and listen. It's so wonderful. I say, well, what does Jesus say? And then out pops out the same things. Stay below. You see, we have to hear it in our breath. It's so gorgeous. It's so helpful hearing him say, look, don't hang out in the experience. Like we like see that, go below the experience and see how much you want the experience, how much you like it. But see, the liking of it doesn't make it feel good, because it's the liking of it for something other than peace. And so today we're going to have him show us. He keeps reminding me over and over. Obviously, I need the reminder, so it's coming up again. Ask me. Ask me. One problem, one solution. Ask me. Ask me which miracles. That's the speed up. As we've talked about, Jesus knows where all the bones are buried down there in the subconscious mind. When they start coming up, and it's just, wow. But it's gratitude, because there's so much happiness behind all that suppressed desire. Releases so much energy. Everybody's saying, it's just releasing tension. I'm just yawning this thing out. That's all. It's like a yawn. It's just a yawn. You know, we were spending all this time in emotion and what's happening to me. And he goes, no, just see you desire it. Can you be the thing that you desire? See, even if you want to be something you desire, can you be it? That was the meditation this morning. It was like, even if you desire it, what's happening to the light and all that desire? No thing, nothing. So lesson 277, we're on 278. I am bound, my Father, if I am bound. Let's look at that. In the light of divine being, let's try to bind up the Father somehow. Just bind that light. Bind it up. See if we can bind it. That's the attempt we're making. Oh, I just feel so trapped. Thus, you have a desire to feel trapped. He's just retranslating all of it. Stay with the desire to feel trapped. I feel like I'm just like in a knot. Thus, it is completely like no way out. See that this is a desired experience. Okay, I'm willing to see it's desired. And then it hurts because we think we like these desires. We think they bring us pleasure. The pleasure and pain the same. So pleasure is that little trick in consciousness to go, oh, this is really nice, this little happy hologram. The happy hologram of hell is what we were talking about, the hologram. Is either the happy hologram or the hell hologram. Which one? Which hologram would we like to choose? The desire for an experience of being bound. Let's just ask them. Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness to experience being bound? And then to tie the Father up in a knot and try to hold him down. Because that's what the ego is. I was thinking about that, how you read, and it's see no error. It points back to the denial. Make friends with your ego. Let's just ask the light. Are we making friends with our ego? Is Jesus come to say, look, here's the deal. You just make friends with that thing. No. He's not saying. We're not keeping this for a buddy. Do you want the devil in your house? Invite the devil over to tea. No, see, the devil doesn't exist. See, to invite the devil over to tea would be to make it real. In the light of divine being, if we invite the devil over, we're making him real. He's a play in the hologram. Who's telling me they're having devils coming up? That's they're coming up to see that they're not true. That's the only reason anything's arising now, because we asked to be shown. It's like, Jesus, what happened? I was so happy today. And then the next day it's like, man, I feel like I'm being shredded. The desire to experience shredding. See, there's no way out. But we can look. He's the way out. Listen to the voice. I am bound. My Father is not free. So let's just see. Is there a desire below my level of awareness? He's pointing to, we must be wanting our Father not to be free. Let's look at the insanity of that. Because we're the same. The Father and the Son are one, and the light of divine being are the Father and the Son the same. Can we find a way for them to be different? So if we feel bound, we're trying to bind up the light because we're the same as the light, and tie it in a knot. What bondage is. See how much effort it takes to try to bind up the light. See, first of all, does it work? Secondly, how much effort that takes. That just takes a lot of effort to pretend like we're not light. It's too much work. Let's give that over. That's just too much work to be bound. If I accept I am prisoner within a body in a world in which all things that seem to live appear to die. See, we try to make God a body. See how that little image that we talk about, see God the Father sitting on the throne. We're trying to make God in our image so that we don't see we're in God's image, infinite light. See that play, we can watch the play. See, if we watch the play, just kind of notice it rather than being in it, pretending like it's real. Do we have to pretend like the play is real at all in the light of divine being? Does the divine being need to get involved in all this kerfuffling? Is the divine light involved in any kerfuffling whatsoever? Doesn't know what a kerfuffle is. If I accept, I'm a prisoner in the body. So let's just ask him, because then he's going, if I accept. If, that means we don't need to. Do we need to accept that we're a prisoner within a body? And here what the light says. Do we need to accept that? It is divine infinite being. Do we need to accept it? The question is, do we desire an experience of being prisoner in a body? Let's ask the light that. I go, yes, you do. But at least we can admit it. Okay, I desire an experience of being a prisoner within a body. And then we know we need his help. Yeah. Okay, Jesus, show me how to cease to have a desire to be a prisoner in a body. Will you help me? Will the light help us? That's what it's here for. Follow me. That's his favorite thing to remind me. Follow me. Ask me. And just see how gentle these conversations and these joinings. Again, he's saying join, 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 join. Especially if there's someone in the group that you don't want to join with indefinitely. Let me ask Jesus. Ask him. If I don't want to join with that being over there, do I? Yes, right now that's the assignment. And just start to hear him speak in each other. It is so stunning. And hear that truth come through, how we can all hear Jesus. Start listening to Jesus. Oh, you'd be so happy. It's so much. Just hear that chorus coming right out. See, it's not what we're saying, it's where it's coming from. Because there's lots of ways we can kind of speak about the course to really not look deeply to see what's true in the course. That's why he's saying, throw out the book and actually look. Throw out the book and look. That's a good. That's why he says you got to get rid of the course. Got to toss it out and say, okay, what is my direct experience? Am I willing to see what the course points to? Or do I want to live inside of the illusion of a book? Do I want to hear the voice, or do I want to pretend like there's a book here that's going to tell me something I don't already know? Am I willing to hear that I already know that I'm not a body? Am I willing to hear? Let's just ask, am I willing to hear and see that I'm not a body? If he says no, that's the place to go with him. Okay, so that's good. Now tell me, thank you. And you start having this gratitude. Okay, that's the honesty of God. Now, where can we go with that? Show me the desire to be a prisoner in a world in which all things that seem to live appear to die. Let's ask the light. Is anything dying? Let's just check in. What is dying? The only thing that needs to die, and I was reminded that last night in 13th Floor, that movie, the only thing that needs to die, what had to die is a symbol of us watching this character, is the idea we have about who we are. That's the only thing that needs to die. That needs to just fade into the sunset on its horse. Well, it never happened. We just set it on a horse and wave it. Okay, thank you. That was desired experience. I admit it. I don't have to desire that. So it's not the cowboy that rides off. It's the desire, the end of the desire to experience something other than infinite identity. If I accept, Need that be that we, as divine infinite beings, need to accept we are prisoner in the body? Let's ask the light. Is the light going, okay, now here's the deal. If you are a body for a while, no, it doesn't say that. You know, it doesn't have, that's the ego saying that. That's how we're learning to discern the voice for God and the voice for, I want to be a body and therefore kill myself, and kill myself over and over about 1,000 times a day to try and kill the light, which can't be done. It's really good to give up that ghost. It's like, you know, like the ego, it's very interesting when people say, okay, just surrender, you know, just surrender. No, it's not the ego's idea of surrender is you send up a white flag and you're vanquished. It's not that surrender. This is merely seeing that there's no white flag, nothing to surrender to. It's already done. If there's any, I can't even relate to that surrender, because see that in the light, are we surrendering anything? What are we surrendering? See, surrendering is the idea of sacrifice in there embedded. It doesn't have to be, but the way the ego plays, you know, you're going to be vanquished, taken over by the enemy. No wonder every time we hear that word, we tighten up, because it's a play in consciousness that we're going to be vanquished. When we've selected an experience of being vanquished by an ego. In a world in which all things that seem to live appear to die, is life a body? In honesty of God, is life a body? See, life's not a body. Life is not this world. There's nothing living in the world. Oh, the ego doesn't want to see that. Feel the tension. Desire attention every time I think about there's no life in a body. Give that up, that desire real quick. Seem to live, and then is my father prisoner with them. We're trying to take the light hostage. Is that working so well? Nope. Okay, and this do I believe. When I maintain the laws of the world obeys, I must obey. Ouch. That's an ouchie. That needs a miracle Band-Aid. When I maintain the laws of the world obeys, must I obey? That just, you can feel tension going up your back just on that. So let's just ask, am I maintaining the laws of the world to make myself obey them? And then I'm mad about all the laws, you know? We start complaining about the government. Oh, another border control I have to go through, another gun checkpoint. Who's making that? I maintain the laws the world obeys. Let's just see. Jesus, is there a desire? Who's making the laws of the world? Is that a desired experience, the laws of the world? This is a good one to look at. Is there any desire for laws of the world to be subject to them? And is that a good place for a miracle? Driver's licenses, passport checkpoints, to feel subject to the laws of the world, that's a desired experience. The frailties and sins which I perceive are real. Okay, so let's just ask, is there a perception that their frailties and sins perceived to be real in our experience? Are we trying to perceive frailties and sins to be real? Let's ask, because we don't know. We have to ask the one who knows. Is there any desire for frailty experience to be perceived as real? And sins, let's ask them, is there any desire below my level of awareness to perceive sin as real? And cannot be escaped. See, that's the desired experience. If you look in chapter 20, you'll see where he's pointing right to that desire to have an experience that we cannot escape sin. So we can ask him, Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to have an experience that I can't escape sin? That would feel pretty hopeless. See, that's where hopelessness comes from. To create sin, make it so that it doesn't look like you can escape it, and then wallow in it. The desire for sin, so it feels like you can't escape it. So we just look at the desire to be inescapable, sin to be inescapable. Frailties and sin, which I perceive a wheel and cannot escape frailty. See, as soon as we have a body, is it true in the light of divine being? As soon as we believe we're a body, we're going to feel frail, subject to time. That's terror. See that the body's terror, asks the light. The belief in a body, is that abject terror? Yet if you stay with the desire for the body, see that terror can't arise if you stay with the desire. So what happens is we kind of hang out in the terror rather than seeing, oh, I want this terror. I want this little roller coaster ride. I want the amusement park ride in consciousness. And just admit it. Okay, I really want it. So then the denial can't be hidden. It's the hidden denials that hurt. Let's ask the light. Is it the hidden denial that hurts? Is the desire to hurt, attempt to hurt? To be the victim? If I am bound in any way, I do not know my Father nor myself. Let's just ask this. If I bind myself with desires, desired experience, do I not know my Father? Nor myself. See how we can't know the light if desires are below our level of awareness. Just ask the light that. If there are desires for experience below my level of awareness, is that the veil over the light? A self-created veil over recognition and celebration of light. So this is where the release is. We can hear it right in the desire category. I do not know my Father if I am bound in any way. Can we not know the Father if we pretend we're bound? So it's release of the pretending to be bound by a body and a world. And I am lost to all reality. Is there a Jesus? This is a good one to look at. Is there any desire to be lost to all reality? The desire to be lost. To lose ourselves, to lose sight, to lose spiritual vision. And I give that desire over to you, the desire to lose spiritual vision, to lose sight of myself as the light. I'm willing for a miracle to change in perception that I could ever lose the light. For truth is free, and what is bound is not part of truth. So let's just ask, is the desire for an experience being bound part of the truth? Jesus said it's merely a means to see that what you desire, you will experience. Yet even if you experience it, you're still true. You're still free underneath all of that desire. And to see that the light is free and anything other than the light is other and is not the truth. Father, I ask for nothing but the truth. Hallelujah, chorus. See, we're receiving what we asked for, as he reminds me. Obviously, need that lesson. Everything I desire, those little secret prayers that are happening below our level of awareness, the little secret prayers of desire for sin and death and a body. Thus, we need to be reminded to ask for nothing but the truth. I have had many foolish thoughts about myself. Oh my gosh, that's coming out in every joining. Every joining. That's what's so helpful about it. Jesus keeps saying, see that these thoughts are not true. See, these thoughts are not you. Or the thoughts we're having in honesty of God, us, it. Are they meaning anything in truth in the honesty of God? I have had many foolish thoughts about myself and my creation. So let's just see. Jesus, has there been a desire for me to have many foolish thoughts about myself and my creation? And my creator. Many foolish thoughts about who my daddy is. He's abandoned me. When we're the ones who's trying to give him the boot. And have brought a dream of fear into my mind. Have we brought a dream of fear into our mind? We just admit it, see? Jesus, have I brought a dream of fear into my mind? Okay. Is that dream true? The light's never going to agree with us, the dream. Need I experience pain over the dream? Ask the light. Is it a dream? Can I dispel the dream of fear from my mind? And here the light says, do I have all the power given by the Father to dispel a dream of fear from my mind? Like, does the light say no? It doesn't say no. You have all the power granted by the Father. Am I one with the Father? And here the light says, the question is, do I want to feel like I'm one with the Father? We'll ask Jesus. Am I really feeling to feel one with the Father in honesty of God, so then he can straighten us out? Do I have a desire not to feel one? He's reminding more this morning. See how much you do not like silence. You do not like it. Let's ask, in the light of divine being, honesty of God, do we like silence? That's why we get all that mind noise, because we desire an experience other than silence. We have to dislike that silence a lot and fill it up with something. Our thoughts of desire to fill up the silence with what can't be. That's what he's showing. Okay. I don't like silence. I admit it. All right, I'll put it out there. Ask for a miracle. And have brought a dream of fear in my mind by believing all the thoughts. Is the light believing all the thoughts? We can always use the light as the gold standard. It's heaven's standard. It's the higher court. Is the light the higher court we need to appeal to for help, for guidance, for what's true? Only the light. That's it. And see that nothing else is of more value than the light. Today I would not dream. That feels like a good thing. Jesus, just show me every desire, any desire to dream. Am I willing to see it? That's the question. Jesus, show me whether I'm even willing to see that I'm dreaming, that I'm in the holodeck. Am I willing to see I'm in the holodeck and celebrate like crazy with the other beings in the holodeck that I was trying to cast away out of my mind, and just see what the gifts are that they bring to me today in the dream? The happy holodeck. Am I willing to see I'm in the happy holodeck rather than the hell holodeck? Today, I would not dream of hell. Today, I would not dream. I choose the way to you. Is it madness to try to kill the light out of our awareness? Is that like just about just insane? So today, Jesus, I'm admitting, have I been totally insane? And here at the lights. See, then we don't deny the denial that we're insane. Just say, okay, this is insane. I'm infinite light, pretending not to be light. Okay. Yes, exactly. I choose the way to you instead of madness and instead of fear. See, as soon as we deny that we're crazy, we're going to be fearful. What we don't want to look at is that we're having fear because we're choosing to be insane. Oh, thankfully, it's not true. For truth is safe and only love is sure. Honesty of God and the light of divine being is only love sure in our direct experience. Is light the only thing that's sure? Is the voice for God the only thing that's sure? If we're honest, like the honesty of God, is the voice for God the only thing that's sure? Amen. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. I will accept all assignments from you today, Holy Father, the one who knows the supreme happiness. So today, I'll just mention that at 3, so we'll have silence. We'll be sitting in silence. I don't know. You can let us know if you feel you want to. It's a little cloudy today, but if you want to sit in that silence, we can put a picture of the mountains out there. And then we've opened the center up. We don't know if anyone will come, but it's Jesus' invitation. Whoever's the right one will come. And then we'll do a little light circle. I call it a satsang, but it's the same, really. We'll see what the topic is of the day in about 3. So we'll put the link to that Zoom just in case you want to jump on it. You're welcome to join us. And it feels like just for a few minutes after this, if you want to stay on, I'm going to do a little, I'll talk about 13th floor. So we'll just see if we can't stop this live stream, but we'll be in the recording and start a new one about 13th floor. Woohoo! Wow. Namaste. Welcome, mighty love companions. So much love being together in this blessed holy circle of light, and to talk about 13th floor and how these movies are so given and they become so easy so we can practice infinite beingness and not getting pulled into the movie, not getting yanked into the hologram. And feeling like we're guilty for the hologram. That's the whole gig. Ego's gig is, okay, you create a hologram, now you're responsible for it. You're only responsible to see the miscreation, to see it as a miscreation and accepting who created it. So on the 13th floor, we have a character, as all characters in the world. A character who seemingly created, he and his partner created a hologram. In the 30s, the late 30s, early 40s, 1940s. So a hologram of the past. Now, how perfect is that? We're all living in a hologram of the past. And if you lie down on a table, your consciousness gets transferred to a new dream, and a dream of 1930. But somehow we don't want to see that it's a hologram. So the first thing that happens is when his partner is quote unquote killed. Now we have a mystery. Who killed the partner? That's the ego's question. It's always a question. Who did the killing? until we see there's no one killing anything. It's just an idea that we can kill the light. But it's helpful to see that we can go deep in our mind to see that the hologram's not real. Yeah, this is a beautiful symbol of going into the hologram to look at it in a whole new way, to find who we are. That's what Jesus is doing through the miracle. Is having a look at the hologram in a whole new way. A, the desire for it. It's a desired experience to have a hologram and to see things are not the way we think they are. So it's really interesting to watch when he goes into that hologram to see that every time he's about to get his hands on the clue that it's his world is unreal, you'll see how much attack and violence comes up. He'll just about get his hands on that letter from his friend that his friend left with to tell him. And all of a sudden, boom, attack. That is exactly what happens when we do not want to see. Attack is merely the desire not to see what we've created. And the beauty of this movie is it shows that we do not want to see that it's a hologram. He didn't want to see that it was a hologram. Even when he was in it, it was really beautiful. You can watch him though. When he goes into the holodeck of 1937, he stays on the mission. That's our function. Our function is to stay on the mission to find out what's true and keep our focus only on the mission. You'll see how focused in. It's really hilarious. He goes in, he one of the times he goes in, he's on the dance floor with somebody. What's really beautiful too is the same characters are showing up in different iterations and just different versions of the hologram, which is really very interesting. Things, it's great. This is another movie that shows things are not as they appear. And you'll see he'll get to the point, well, he'll discover, he'll learn about the hologram, what's the hologram is, and then he's mad. Because he still thinks that somebody is making the hologram besides himself. Like the holographic universe, we're looking at that and it's showing how quantum mechanics is showing that there's a hologram. And then the storyline is that the brain creates the hologram. We have to ask the light. And the light of divine being is the brain creating this hologram, miscreating a hologram. See, the brain's not doing it. That's a way not to look to see who's doing it. Who's creating the hologram? That's what we have to find. That's the real mystery. Is the hologram true? And who's creating it? The hologram goes wherever we go. But so does the light. So ultimately, in the dream, we have this desire to experience kill and be killed. You'll see it throughout the movie. His friend gets killed. Who did it? Then he has a doubt. Did I kill my friend? Is my nothing is real in the dream, but we have a doubt thought. It's a doubt thought about divinity. What if I killed him? I can't remember anything. See, we forget that we had a desire for an experience of killing, and then we forget it. The face of innocence. What do? I don't remember if I killed my friend or not. We're killing holograms because we like the desire of death and destruction and killing. And then we're mad when Jesus tries to show us. We don't want to hear Jesus tell us. We can ask, in the light of divine being, do we want to hear Jesus tell us this is a hologram? And even when we find out and we know it's a hologram, it's a holographic universe and it's untrue. We still want it. We still don't want to see. I remember just pinning that. When I look back at the notes and I can go, I see this is not true. I don't want it. I had a whole diatribe on that. That's what we laugh about here. Well, I don't want to see that. No. That's the whole gig. He didn't want to see it was a hologram. Then when he finds out it's a hologram, and he goes, well, wait a minute. And then he's mad. You can see how mad he is. That is exactly like we react to it, because we don't want to look deeper. And we make it about another character doing it to us. And that's another thing that's displayed beautifully in this movie, how we believe there's another character that takes us over. The devil made me do it. And what we have to die to, not, as we talked about early, not physically die, but die to the idea, let the idea of who we think we are die, and that disappear. And that's what we're fighting against. So that's the internal struggle, because the light's not fighting. As we look at the light, is the light fighting against anything? And we go to the happy we see that we've been in the happy holodeck all the time, the Garden of Eden all the time. It's the same. It looks the same. See, I thought, oh my gosh, this world's going to finally blow up and I can get rid of it. I just remember thinking, I just don't want to be in this world. I don't want to be in here. See, we make it, and then the ego tries to reject everything in it. So it doesn't look back to see where is the projection coming from. That's the play. The play is, oh, I'm not looking down in there. But what's so great about the light circles, we're looking. We're just looking with the light and listening to the voice and having the voice say, okay, here's where you need a miracle, because he knows where all the miracles are. Here's where you need a miracle. Like no assumptions about where a miracle is needed whatsoever. The fastest means, like you see it after the fact. Not wanting to ask them for any miracle, you kind of, because the ego's going to go in there and like select, okay, I can just give this little tidbit over for a miracle. And he's going for the whole enchilada. See the denial directly. Now we're ready to look and see that no one's doing it to us or to you, or there's no thems, theys, hims. And as soon as we die to the idea, the part of ourselves that has the death wish, like Muji says, die before you die, or people go to Muji, I want to die before I die, meaning the falling away of the false sense of identity. No friend in the ego, no taking the ego to lunch, no story about the ego, no more stories. That's what Jesus is just, that's why he says the desire for a story. It's, how do I feel? I feel sad. Thus, I desire an experience of sadness. Help me out. It's that quick. No storyline, no if-thens, no. It's like no more tear shampoo. They might arise. It's not bad. Don't judge them. Do you see? It might cry as the release. It might be. There's not to judge in it. But it's just see that we don't, that there's a desire under the emotion. We're not trying to make emotion. You're not going to be like a wooden statue. It's not, it's just go to where the desire is, because no experience, we ask the light, does any emotion arise without our desire for it? That's all we're seeing. Nothing arises without our complicity in it. We have to be complicit for it to rise into awareness. And then we just ask Jesus, is this keeping or clearing? So he can, because we can't distinguish that either. That's another thing that's hilarious. All this stuff, and seems like the fires, whatever's happening. But part of that is just, that's the way consciousness clears. So we got to ask them that too. Is this clearing, or am I keeping something? And let that voice just gently, this is clearing, stay with this, let go of that. It's like the little soft rudder. It's a little soft rudder there. given, so you can be like Truman. If you've seen the Truman Show, we're probably going to watch that coming up soon. And you're going to just take that little boat and you take in the God boat. Stop, right? Out of the wheel, out of samsara. And as soon as we drop the desire for death, it falls away. That's what's so great about 13th floor, the levels of the hologram and different levels of hologram. You know, Jesus reminded me, and you can notice, see, we're getting curious now. We're in the Mimsy mode. The last Mimsy, we get really curious about the play in consciousness. So rather be involved in it, we just kind of observe it. Like Tatsy's thing that she says, this is an interesting thing this projection's doing. You know, it's more curiosity to see how consciousness creates these little scenarios. So you ever notice, like, you're sitting somewhere, all of a sudden you realize you've been daydreaming. So that's how it is. We create, so we have one hologram going on right here, seems to be here, all the people on the screen. And then, you know, it's like, then you'll go in, then the mind, it's so powerful, it's going to generate a whole new hologram of what happened at your grandma's house when you were 2. See how it creates that? And then you'll have an argument with that experience, the you. That's the you's all about. Then it'll fast forward to where you unjustly treated when you were 12. And then it's going to go and it's going to move into, oh my God, what's going to happen when I go to visit my friend? I really don't want to do it. Just see how it's like a hopscotch. It's going to see how consciousness moves into these different little dreaming scenarios. The desire for mind. That's why Jesus said we have to have that light training so that we're not falling asleep into multi-dimensional scenarios and multi-universe. And then, you know, whatever. Then I had an astral projection. You know, and then I found myself standing on Mars. It's not bad. You know, it's all an experience in consciousness. None of it is bad. But it's just, can you see then I was talking to witch and elves and demons. Like, then I was talking to, it's not bad. Nothing is inherently wrong with it. The spirit can use elves, actually. He says they are an appearance in consciousness. They can be helpful if you let the spirit use them. But as soon as we believe they're real, do you see, we believe the projection, whatever it looks like, standing on the moon, having a fight over whether they landed on the moon to see where the argument is. And just step out of the argument. And to see that love's here. And then the happy holodeck, which is the symbol that appears in this movie of the happy holodeck, the recovery of the recognition of innocence. 13th floor is really, really good for that. Seeing where the desire for the dreaming is and seeing how much we want somebody else to be responsible for our desire for killing in a way that we don't remember it. We've been taken over. Yet, because we created it, as Jesus said, we can set it free. Amen. Happy holodeck today. Happy holidays. Happy holodeck. Everybody's going thumbs up to happy holodeck.